Alright, back again, Luke here. And after taking a look at some of those messages that I just received on that video that I put up about that GQ-4X eeprom programmer, some people wanted to see how it works, or what the program is all about, how to actually burn some eproms and things like that. So I figured I'd try and show you a little bit of a crash course here on how to do that. First thing you want to do is, if you decide to go with this particular eeprom programmer, is you want to go to the MCU Mall website and you want to download the correct drivers for it. And once you install the drivers, it'll actually bring out a desktop icon that you can use. And if you click on the desktop icon here, it will open up the screen and it'll say that it's checking for the program. Down here you can see that there's no connection. And once everything gets situated here, it says please wait, and down at the bottom here you can see that everything's connected. If you don't have the drivers in and you connect this unit first, then what it'll do is it'll throw up an error. Also, if you only use the CD that comes with it, it'll throw up an error saying that it's not the updated version, and this one says it's already updated, so you don't have to worry about it with the drivers. So as you can see down here, I have it plugged in. And this thing is just run through the USB cable. It's plugged into the side of this PC. This is an old PC, guys, so you gotta bear with me here. This is a really old monster, and I'm surprised it's still ticking, still using Windows XP, but barely moving along, but it's enough to get this thing to work. And a couple people had already mentioned that they were surprised that I didn't have an eeprom programmer. And I actually did. I picked up an eeprom programmer a few years ago, and this is one of the GQ-3X models. This was one of the cheapest models at the time, and I originally picked this up because I just needed to do some of the smaller eeprom programming. For example, like some of the smaller eproms that are used on this one's Double Dragon 2. These are some of the eproms from my old Double Dragon 2 board that was trashed, if you guys remember that. But these eproms here, these ones fit right in there, so I didn't have to worry about it, and this is the main reason why I bought this. As you can see, they'll fit right in there, and that's the exact fit. The biggest problem that I was running into, or when I wound up getting some other arcade boards, what I needed to do is I really needed to get something that would support larger eproms. And unfortunately, this one here, it's not going to support something that has multiple pins, more pins on it than what the harness itself or the adapter has. So what I did is I went and I picked up this one. Now what this will allow you to do is it'll allow you to actually stock, you should be able to burn some of the larger ROMs, or eproms. But if you have any eproms that are even larger than this, this is where the adapter here comes in. And you can see that the adapter has many, many more pins on this. Some people have mentioned, I know that Supreme Judge has mentioned that he has a different eeprom eraser, and his actually doesn't need that many different adapters. I think he said it has all the adapters built in. But this is a really low-cost one, really cheap one. I'm not sure how much he paid for his, but this one is pretty cheap. It's very reasonable, and it should do the job for most of eproms and most of the programming that you'll need for most arcade boards. But there are some, DACs that you'll have to get larger adapters for. But as you can see here, the slot here is actually a lot bigger, so you can use this for larger eproms. But what we're going to do here, I thought I'd show you a little bit. I mean, I'm not going to be able to burn any eproms right now because, unfortunately, I don't have any of the eproms that I need for anything. All of these eproms are basically the wrong model number, and I don't have anything that I could actually replace with right now at this time. But I can give you a little bit of a crash course here on how it works. If we go back up here to our screen, you can see that there are many different small tabs up the top here. This one's for selecting device and reading. You can verify it. You can get a signature ID, configurations, etc. There are many different kind of easy click buttons up here. They really make it easy, blank check. You can also go down here on the side, and they have the similar buttons, so you can check the device ID, read, erase, and etc. Well, what we're going to do here is let's go up here to device, and we're going to click on that, and it'll open up this window here. And now what this window will show you is I'll show you all of the different eproms and the serial eproms, SDRAM. It'll put everything into this huge category here. And if you want specific, you can actually click on each one specifically and it'll specifically modify the search. But we're just going to leave it on all here for right now. And if you notice over here, you'll see that it shows the connector itself, and right now it shows a chip in there. What we're going to do is we're going to change this a little bit, so the chip size here, or the image on this, is actually probably going to change a little bit. Let's take, for example, I don't know, let's take this chip here. And this is a Texas Instruments, and this is 27C 10A. So, we're going to go down here and see if we can find Texas Instruments. Probably down at the bottom. TI. And this one, 27C. So, well, not finding it. So, if, for example, you can't find the EPROM that you're looking for, what you can do is go back up here and you can click on generic. And now on generic, if you can't find the EPROM name, the manufacturer name, you can always use this. And we're going to look for 27C, and then this one was 27C 010A, so 010. So we're going to click on that, then we're going to click on select, and maybe it changed, I'm not sure, maybe it didn't change. Well, we're going to click on that. We're going to take this EPROM here, and we're going to put this into our EPROM reader. And we're going to clamp this thing down. You want to make sure that it's all the way at the bottom. Oh, whoops, which mine is it? You want to make sure this is all the way at the bottom here. And you want to make sure that the notch is cut out at the top. And then once you get that set in there, you're going to clamp it down. And then what we're going to do is we're going to try and do a blank check. What a blank check does is it checks to see if the EPROM has any information on it. And if it does have any information left on it, it won't allow you to write to it. So these EPROMs have to be completely cleared of all information. What a blank check does is it checks to see if the EPROM is clear or not, and if it's not, it'll throw up a warning, or it'll throw up another, like another command box here saying that it has an error. So let's click on it. And this one says it has a device failed. So right here, it's not even checking it. So once it comes up with a device failed, we're going to click off of that. Let's take this out of our programmer here. Now, if it comes up with a failed error, it could be one of two things. It could be the fact that it still has some information on it. It could be the fact that it's not the correct EPROM that you had put in to the system. It could be the fact that it's just not working. It could be a bad EPROM. But let's take another one here. And this one here, it's probably not going to focus, but this one says MB, and that says M27C4001. So let's try and go back up here to our device, and let's click on all generic. And this one was, what is it? MB. Oh, ooh, I don't know what I just clicked on there. And M27C. 27C, and then 4001. So I have to keep scrolling down here a little bit until we find it. Okay, so here's our 27C 4001. So we're going to click on that, and we're going to select this. And like I said, sometimes this image will change here depending on if it's longer or shorter. Then we're going to take this EPROM here, and we'll pop it in, same as we did before. Clamp it down, and this one, I must have pressed something accidentally there, but we'll go up here and do a blank check on this, And this one is actually coming up with an address failed line. So if you have any of these that are coming up with an address failed, once again, you know, all it means is that there's probably something that is not cleared off on this EPROM, or something that is still remaining on it, and that's what's causing it to do the error. Let's try another one here. This is another one that's the exact same model number as the one that we just took out, so we don't have to do anything extra. Just clip that back on there. Let's try blank check again. And as you can see, this one's actually reading it. So, and if this one gets all the way to the end, down at the bottom here, it should say that the EPROM is blank. So you can see here it says chip is blank, and this chip here is ready for burning. So if I had a file that I needed to burn to this, what I would do is I would put that in here in this area. So what we're going to do is we'll kind of minimize this. If you go over here, you can, for some of the MAME setups, you can actually find most of these files here. For example, this is Killer Instinct. This is U36, and if I wanted to burn U36, what I'd do is I could just drag and drop this file in here, and you can see that it's over here. It has the documents and settings. That file is in there. So then what I would do is just click write, and it would start writing. Now, in order for it to write, what I have to do is I have to plug in this cable here, because it actually will ask for more power. So plug this one in, and it will choose, you know, which power it uses when you plug this in. If I disconnect, for example, if I disconnect the USB cable right now, you can see that the light is still on, so it's getting power through this right now. Plug that back in. But since I'm not going to do any burning for this right now, I'm just doing some examples here for you guys so you can see what it's like. But hopefully that'll kind of help you guys out a little bit more with how these things work. Once you have these things completely, you know, erased and they pass a blank check, and you decide to, you know, start burning, it's just drag and drop. Basically, just choose the correct EPROM that you're going to use. Make sure that you drag the correct file over. Make sure that it's the correct EPROM in here. It's all correctly seated in here as far as all the way to the back, and this chip is up front. And make sure you have power hooked up, and then if everything's okay, if everything checks out alright, then you just click write, and it will write the EPROM. You can do extra things if you want. You can have it read it, you can have it erase it. This erase feature here is not for EPROMs, but it's for mask ROMs, basically. So the biggest difference here is, like, if you take a look at a regular EPROM, you have a window, and if you take a look at like an EPROM, you know, it looks like a mask ROM. These here actually have no window, and these ones can usually be erased. So these ones can't be erased by the programmer, these ones can. So hopefully that'll give you a little bit of insight here on how these things work. I know it's not the best, it's kind of a crash course here, and I might have had a little bit of information kind of all over the place, but just want to give you guys a little bit of a look at how these things work. And yeah, that's about all for me for right now. Like always, I'll put up another video here soon, so thanks for watching.